It's a cold word. A hard word. But it is the only word for what you are about to witness. This is not the story of a broken window in Rotherham. This is the story of a broken country. A story that has been written for 20 years in the quiet desperation of millions, now exploding into open, righteous fury. A promise, not just broken, but ground into the dust by the polished shoes of the political class. A people, our people, pushed to the absolute edge by an elite that despises them, that fears them, and that has finally, catastrophically, lost control. The social contract lies in tatters on the pavement, and the consequences are now unavoidable. The television, your television, will show you the flames. The masked faces. The splintered glass of a police van. They will call it a riot. They will use words like mindless and thuggery. They will blame the far right. They will find one man with a shaved head and a St. George's flag and make him the face of a national uprising. And then, right on cue, they will cut to a commercial for a price comparison website, as if nothing happened. But they will not show you the truth. They will not show you the years of decay, the decades of contempt, the slow, managed demolition of our towns, our communities, and our trust that led to this single, inevitable moment. It is a playbook, executed with chilling precision from newsrooms in London. The first call is always to the expert who blames poverty, never the policy. The second call is to the activist who screams racism, shutting down all debate. They will not show you the face of the local business owner, his life's work in ruins, who had warned the council for months, who had begged the police for more patrols, only to be dismissed as a troublemaker. They will not show you the grandmother, trapped in her 8th-floor flat, listening to the sirens and the screams, clutching a photograph of her husband, a man who fought at Normandy for a country she no longer recognizes. They will not show you the truth because the truth indicts them. The truth exposes their catastrophic failure not as an oversight, but as a deliberate act of sabotage against the people of Britain. This was not an accident. This was an engineered certainty. An eruption of fury, deliberately cultivated by open borders, then willfully ignored by the Westminster machine. And the most terrifying part? This is only the beginning. Sources inside police command structures are already warning of copycat events, of intelligence showing coordinated anger across a dozen other towns just like this one. The question is no longer if this anger will spread. The only question left is this: how long until the fire reaches your front door? For years, you were told to be quiet. You were told you were racist for worrying about your borders, for wanting your children to grow up in a safe, familiar culture. You were called a bigot for wanting your culture, the culture that built this nation, to survive. You watched, powerless, as unvetted illegal migrants were ferried across the channel like conquering heroes, given 4-star hotel rooms, handed weekly spending money, and placed above you, above your family, in the queue for every public service this country has. You were told to pay your taxes and shut your mouth. You were told it was your duty. They called it compassion. They called it diversity. They never called it what it was: auto replacement. But then came Southport. A peaceful town. A town of families and retirees. And the stabbing of children in broad daylight. An act of such profound, unspeakable evil, it should have shaken the government to its very foundations. And for a moment, the dam of British patience, already cracked and groaning under the strain, finally burst. The anger that exploded onto the streets of Southport was a signal. A flare sent up into the night sky. A warning. And Westminster did what it always does. Nothing. They offered thoughts and prayers from the safety of their armoured cars and their London bubble. They read from pre-approved scripts written by 20-something communications graduates who have never set foot in a town like Southport. And they hoped. They prayed that it would all just go away. It did not go away. It festered. It grew. It went to Rotherham. A town that already bears the deepest, most horrific scars of establishment betrayal. A town that knows, in its bones, better than any other, what happens when the state looks the other way, when officials are more concerned with political correctness than with protecting children. The air in Rotherham was already thick with memory and injustice. And what happened next, under the cold October sky, was the predictable, catastrophic result of a government that has declared war on its own people. A war of attrition, fought not with bullets, but with neglect, contempt, and mass, uncontrolled immigration. Just stop and think about the two-tier system they have built. A system of such obscene moral corruption, it would make a Roman emperor blush. On one side, you have the British people. You have a former Royal Marine sergeant from Hull, a man who fought in 2 wars for this country, now told there's an 18-month waiting list for a hip operation that would let him walk without agony. He sees the news. He sees the hotels. And something inside him breaks. You have a single mother in Stoke, let's call her Sarah, working 2 jobs, a cleaner in the morning, a cashier in the evening. She watches her energy bills climb higher than her rent, terrified of the coming winter, watering down the milk to make it last another day for her kids. She paid her taxes since she was 16. She has never asked for a thing. Now, she is treated like a nuisance. You have pensioners in Essex who built this nation from the rubble of the last war, now sitting in the cold, choosing between heating and eating, while the BBC, an institution they are forced to pay for, lectures them about their privilege. They paid in. They played by the rules. Their parents fought and died for this country. And their reward? To be ignored, impoverished, and treated with utter contempt. And on the other side? The VIP arrivals. The ones who break our laws to get here. The ones who pay criminal gangs, who burn their passports on the beaches of France, who arrive with a sense of entitlement that is breathtaking. For them, the rules do not apply. For them, the red carpet is rolled out. Free accommodation in hotels that you can no longer afford to stay in for a weekend. Legal aid, funded by you, to fight their own deportation. Brand new mobile phones. Halal menus, new clothes, and a life of subsidized comfort while the people of this country are told to tighten their belts until it hurts. Insiders talk of welcome packs containing hundreds of pounds in gift cards. It is a calculated, visceral humiliation. It is a deliberate message sent from the heights of the political elite. You, the British taxpayer, are now a second-class citizen in your own home. Your loyalty is worthless. Your concerns are bigotry. Your country is not yours anymore. And when the people of Rotherham, a town pushed beyond all human endurance, finally said enough, what was the response? Did the government admit its catastrophic failure? Did they announce an emergency plan to clear the hotels and deport the illegal occupants? Did they apologize to the people whose lives they had ruined? No. Of course not. In an act of pure, unadulterated tyranny, they announced a plan to cut funding for youth services, for libraries, for community schemes in the very areas affected, in order to pay for more riot police and stronger barricades. You could not make it up. It is beyond parody. They are forcing the community to pay for its own containment. They are punishing the victims of their policies for the crime of reacting to them. This is not the behavior of a democratic